What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Crafters. I'm David Wilson. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about a strategy for managing tasks in org mode so that you never miss an important task again. Now, org mode is an incredible tool, but it has so many features that sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to discover workflows that work for you. You end up with tasks or to-do items that are spread across multiple files in your file system, and it can be very easy to lose track of the tasks that you've created and just never go back and look at the files that they're placed in. I tend to have this problem because I like to create a bunch of different note files that all have their own purpose or a project they're related to, or maybe just something I've been thinking about. And if I don't have a way to organize those tasks so that I can find them again later, I won't remember to do the things that I intended to do. So org mode provides things to help with this, like the agenda view and task tagging, and some other features too, but these are the ones that we'll focus on today. And I wanted to show you a workflow that I've come up with that really helps me to not forget about the tasks that I've created for the different areas of my life that I need to remember to do things in. So the solution is to place tags on tasks, but whenever you come up with a tagging strategy, you kind of have to design it in a way that is really effective for grouping everything that is related to a particular type of activity, or maybe even a device, or maybe even a place that you commonly go to. So the way that I like to think about this is that I'm trying to batch all the tasks related to a particular context so that whenever I'm in that context, like I'm sitting at my computer, or I'm going to the grocery store, or anything like that, I can always call up the list of tasks related to that context, no matter which org mode file they're in, and then find those tasks so I can act on them, or at least be reminded of them so that I can actually factor those into my day. So what I'm going to do here is show you the way that I have broken up my org mode tags to capture all of these contexts that I work in, and then how I use the agenda view to basically filter down all the list of to-do items across all of my org files to find the tasks that are related to a given context, so it's much easier for me to batch the work I do on those contexts. And then once we talk about the tag design that I've come up with, I'll actually show you how to configure the set of tags that you've designed in your Emacs configuration, how to use the org agenda view, also how to basically set up your org agenda file list so that you can call up the agenda view and then filter it based on the tags you defined. Also, we'll talk a little bit about how you can easily apply the tags that you've designed onto the tasks that you have so that you don't have to write out every single tag every time that you create a task. So we'll cover all of these things as we go through these sections of this video. All right, so let's take a look at how to design a set of tags that enable you to keep everything organized by the set of places, devices, and activities that are relevant to your day-to-day life and all the tasks that you may create. What I'm doing here is looking at a very basic org or Emacs configuration that is focused on just this video. You can find the configuration in the show notes that are linked in the description. And we're setting the org tag A list variable here. So if you don't know about org tag A list, it is effectively the list of tags that you have pre-configured for org mode. And this list shows up whenever you try to assign tags to a new task that you're creating. It also gives you a completion list for tags that you are filtering the org agenda by. So it's very useful to set this if you actually do design a set of tags that you commonly use across your tasks, so that Emacs can help you by prompting you for which tags you want to set, or prompting you for which tags you want to filter by. So we can see here that is the default tags available in org files. And if you didn't notice what I did there, I put my cursor on org tag A list and press Control HV, which gives me the description, or calls describe variable, basically. Gives me the description of this variable. And I recommend reading over this to get the information about the format of this, but we're going to take a look at a special form of this that makes it easier for you to attach tags to tasks using a prompt that we'll see in just a little bit. So the set of tags that we're looking at here are some that I've come up with. I use some of these tags, but some of the others are mainly for illustration purposes. Here for places. Now, places are the places that you typically tend to go on a daily basis. Maybe it's your home, maybe it's your work, maybe it's school, maybe it's a grocery store, pharmacy, etc. They're contextual places where you need to remember to do something. So you either need to pick something up, drop something off, talk to somebody at that place, etc. And generally what you would do with a task like this is mark it so that whenever you're going to go to that place, you will look at the list of tasks for that place and then see which things you need to remember to do so that you don't forget. Typically, I tend to forget these things, so it's kind of useful sometimes to have tasks tagged with places. So the format that we're looking at here for this list is that we have a list of pairs. Now, you might need to go take a look at one of the videos from my Emacs Lisp, Learning Emacs Lisp playlist to talk more about the data structures in Emacs Lisp. But basically, an A list in this case is a list of pairs. We have a list here that we're defining, and each entry in the list is a pair. Now, each pair is it's basically two parentheses that have a dot in the middle that just says there's a value paired with another value. And in this case, it's a string which represents the name of the tag. The @ sign here is not special. It's just something that I'm using to denote that these particular tags are for context. So you don't really need to have the @ symbol there if you don't want to. And the second thing here is actually the letter to be used for quickly assigning this tag to a task whenever you are editing your tasks. I'll show you how to do that a little bit later. But the syntax here is that we're basically telling Emacs Lisp that the thing that follows this question mark is a letter that we want to use as the hotkey for this particular tag, and then that will be used in the prompt that you'll see in a moment for quickly setting tasks. So for each one of these, I want to set a unique letter so that I can easily hit that key whenever I need to set tags. And that's basically it for places. Now for devices, you want to have some tags for particular devices because it might seem a little bit surprising, but there are cases where there are certain tasks that you would need to do on certain devices, like say your computer or maybe even your mobile phone. So imagine that you're out somewhere and you've got some time to kill. Maybe you're waiting on someone or you're waiting in line and you're like, okay, let me just see what tasks I can do on my phone so maybe I can be a little bit productive while I'm just sitting here doing nothing otherwise. So you can have a set of tasks that are tagged at phone and look those up, or at least have a list pre-generated. Maybe you export your org tasks based on tags so that you have those lists somewhere later, maybe if you don't have Emacs on your phone, etc. That way you can know what tasks to do on your phone. Similarly, you can have many tasks that could be done on your computer, tagged at computer. Now, this might seem a little bit irrelevant because you're going to be on your computer a lot of the day, or at least if you're like me, but it can actually help you to have a tag like this to mark tasks that can easily be done at the computer in case maybe you're like, okay, I have a free 20 minutes, so let me just think about what tasks I could possibly do that I'm not really thinking about right now. Then you can just check your list of computer tasks and just knock out some of the small things that you find on that list. So it can be useful for that. Other devices can be things like at server. So maybe you're managing a server somewhere and there are specific tasks that are relevant only to the server. Like maybe you need to install some upgrades or something. Or maybe you're managing multiple servers. The same thing applies. You just have at server as the task, so that as the tag, so that you can call those tasks up. Another could be laptop. It could be any kind of device that you use. Maybe some of you use a lot more special devices, so you can come up with your own ideas for that. For me, the most important category, let's say, for tags is activities, and this is kind of the core of my own personal workflow. I come up with a list of activities. They're kind of like buckets of tasks that are the different kinds of things I will do within a given week. So, for instance, maybe planning or programming, writing, creative tasks like recording a video, making a thumbnail, even things like writing and responding to emails, making phone calls, or even doing errands. I mean, that kind of overlaps a little bit with places, but sometimes having at errands can be a way to kind of focus your attention on things that need to get done. But I find this to be the most fruitful area for remembering tasks to do, because you often tend to have tasks for different types of activities spread across multiple org files if you tend to use multiple org files. And if you tag them with a particular activity tag, context tag, then it makes it much easier to find. So like if I sit down in the morning and I want to do a little bit of writing, I can open up my agenda view and filter down to the writing tasks, and then I'll see all the things that need to be worked on regarding to writing. Maybe I'm writing a script for a YouTube video, or writing something for a course, or writing an article or a newsletter or something. I'll see all those tasks there, and I can just focus solely on those kinds of tasks, and maybe even batch them so that if there's sort of related things I can work on at the same time, I will have that whole list in front of me, so that it makes it a lot easier. So having a set of tags like this is really useful for making sure that you don't lose any tasks whenever you are working on a certain type of activity, or you're at a certain place, or using a certain type of device. I personally find it very useful. And now let's take a look at how we can actually use the org agenda to filter down the tasks that we have across our agenda files with these tags. All right, so now let's talk about using the org agenda to create a view that pulls together all of the to-do items across all of your relevant org files so that we can see them all and then filter them based on the tags that we created. Here in the configuration we're looking at, I'm setting the org agenda files variable using the setQ function, I guess, built in inside of Emacs list. And I'm setting it to 3 files. So I've got 3 files here, one called personal.org, one called projects.org, and one called work.org. I can actually go into one of those and let you take a look at what that looks like. I'll check out the personal.org file. And I basically got just a list of to-do items here that need to be done. Each of them are tagged with a number of these context tags that we talked about already. So you can already see how this is starting to look. And then once we set this org agenda files list by just giving it a list of paths to our org files, then we can run metax org agenda. You see down in the echo area here, I'm typing in org-agenda. I do not believe that this is bound by any key binding by default. So it's one of these commands that you'll probably want to set a binding for, because you will open it quite often per day. Generally, I bind that to Control-C-O-A. So that I can easily call that up, and then I can have other org mode related key bindings under the Control-C-O prefix. We'll talk about setting up key maps in another video. But at least for now, you can just use metax org agenda to pull that up. And it's going to give you this pop-up here that gives you a number of options for what type of agenda you want to see. These are all pre-configured agenda views that come with org mode. The one we're going to focus on right now is the letter T, the list of all to-do entries. So after you've run org agenda, you'll see this pop up. You can press the letter T. Now we've got a list of all tasks that are across all of our org files. We can see the personal file, the projects file, and the work file. And we can also see all the tags over on this side. So now we've got a really nice view of everything that we've created in our org files. However, this is kind of overwhelming, and if you're trying to figure out what is the next best thing to do with your time, this is not really the best way to look at that. So this is where the work that we did to design our tags comes in, so that we can filter all of our tasks based on a particular tag. So I see some tasks that have planning in here. So what I'm going to do is press the, I believe this is the / key, if I'm not mistaken. It's the one that's next to the shift key on US keyboards. Not sure what about other keyboards. But it's going to bring up a little prompt here in the echo area. And now I should be able to start typing in the name of a tag. So I said planning before, right? So I'm going to type in @p. Then I can actually press the tab key, and it's going to give me completions for the tags that I've defined that start with @p. So I can type in PLA and press tab again, and then that will give me the planning tag. And if I press enter, now we've got the whole list filtered down to any items that are related to planning. This is much more tractable. If you're in like a period of time in the day where you would normally do planning, if you pull up all of your planning tags using the strategy, now you know all the things you need to do for planning. I believe if you want to clear this out, you can press / and just delete the filter and press enter, and then you get back to the main view. Similarly, if you need to do some phone calls, you can press / @calls, press enter, and then you got the list of calls. So it makes it really easy to filter these things down to, or filter your tasks down to the ones that are relevant to a given task or activity, etc. And I think that this is a really good starting point for trying to organize the efforts that you do. I've got another video that I'm working on that will help you to basically create a daily schedule of different types of time blocks that are associated with a given list of tags, so that you can easily filter down the tasks that you have for that block of time that you've assigned every day. We'll probably get that video out in another week or two, but those two things together is a pretty powerful strategy for keeping yourself focused on a certain type of task, and also to make sure that you're evenly covering your week with time blocks that are focused on the types of tasks that are most important, things that you need to make sure that you don't forget. But at least having an agenda view that's filtered down to the types of tasks you want to do is the best starting point to ensure that you don't forget things. Now, back briefly on the idea of the org agenda views. Org agenda views are quite useful. And you can do quite a lot with them when you start defining your own org agenda views. So I'm gonna have another video soon that will tell you how to define your own custom agenda views that will call up your tasks that are tagged with a specific list of tags. My God. And then it will be very easy for you to pull up specific agenda views for specific sets of tags that you use at certain times of the day. So it's just another way to be a bit more efficient and not have to manually filter down all of your tags every time you need to find something. I've also got a strategy for finding all of your tasks that are not tagged, which is pretty useful because you want to make sure that all of your tasks are tagged with one of these context tags to make sure that you actually see them whenever you filter your agenda view. So we'll talk about that as well, maybe in that same video. It makes sense to talk about those together. So now we're going to take a look at how you can very quickly add these tags to your tasks when you create them so that it doesn't feel like a burden to have to go and tag all of your tasks at the time that you make them. Okay, here we're looking at another one of the org files that I've got set up for the demonstrations in this video. And I just quickly wanted to show you how you can create a new task in one of your org files and then set all the relevant tags on it really efficiently based on the tags that we pre-configured using the org tags A-list. So I'm going to use Shift-Alt-Enter at the end of this last to-do item in this file. And it's going to create a new to-do item. I can write whatever I want there. So this is under Projects, rewrite the entire compiler. That sounds pretty fun, I guess. So I'm going to use Control-C, Control-Q to pull up the tags display. And I don't know what the key binding for that is. So I'm going to press Control-H, Control-K, Control-C, Control-Q. That's bound to the org set tags command. So org set tags command is the one that is doing this for us. So Control-C, Control-Q. Now, you'll see this pop-up show up at the bottom of the screen, and it's going to have all the tags that we've pre-configured, and you'll see that all those letters that we had defined on each of the tag entries in the org tags A list are here. So to very easily add tags on this, I can press capital C for computer, then I can press P for programming. And I don't really think any of those other tags are relevant here, so I can just go ahead and press Enter to accept that. And now we've got this task tagged correctly. I can run org agenda, and then I can look up my list of tasks and then search for programming tasks. And now rewrite the entire compiler does show up as a task in the projects list. So super simple way to add new tasks. This can be pretty useful if you are capturing new tasks using org capture. Whenever you actually capture the task, right there at the moment that you're capturing it, you could quickly add tags using this org set tags command, if that's what it was called. And make sure that you have tags set on things before you finish capturing the task. That way you don't have to go back and review your tasks to make sure that you get tags on everything before you try to use them in your lists. Same thing for changing or removing tags. So if I were to go to another to-do item here, I can use Control-C, Control-Q. I can press capital C to untag the task. I can remove the computer tag. I can also press W to remove writing, or I can press W to add it back. You can also see there's some other prompts down here. If I press space, it will clear all the tags for this task. And then I can actually hit tab, and then I can put whatever I want in there. So I can say things like at foo, if I want to have a foo tag. You're not limited to the set of tags that you've predefined. You can add whatever tags you want, but you just have to make sure that if you're adding new tags and they're going to be a part of your system, you should really have them in your configuration so that Emacs can help you to remember which tags you're using and also to prompt you for those in these contexts. So that's it for creating new tasks and tagging them quickly using Control-C, Control-Q. Really nice thing to be able to do that. So definitely use that whenever you create any new task if you're going to follow this strategy for using context tags. All right, so I hope that tip was helpful for you today. Don't forget that you can download the configuration that we created in this video and the example org files that I'm using here from the show notes. If you check the link in the description of the video, go down to the show notes, and then the links to those should be inside of the show notes somewhere. You'll see. And then play around with this and leave a note in the comments based on what you've learned, maybe what types of context areas, like I said, places, activities, and devices what other context areas you think might be relevant, or what other tags you are using, because I'm actually curious to know what tags other people are using for their configurations, and any other tips you have on org mode, productivity patterns, etc. And I'll be making a lot more videos about this anyway on this channel, so if you're not subscribed already, make sure to subscribe and like the video, because we want to appease the algorithm gods. We want to make them happy so that people will find, more people find Emacs and the joy of org mode, etc. So just help out the algorithm gods just by clicking the like button, whatever. So thanks so much for watching today. I hope this was helpful, and until next time, happy hacking. See ya.